Hi everyone, this is Mike Gordon. Welcome to my perfect playthrough of The Lion King for the Sega Genesis. Cause hey, I did a perfect playthrough of Aladdin already. Might as well tack on the other half of the Disney Classic Collection that we got or something. Anyways, I decided I'm gonna play this on easy mode, and I actually use a cheat code to. I honestly don't remember.
It starts.
Yes, there is voice acting. I'm muting the entire video because of some copyright claims on two of the songs from the Aladdin game, which both featured in either the animated or live action movies. First is "Part of Your World" at the very end of which play at the very end of the game, and the other was I believe the level 3 theme. Anyways, the reason why I don't really remember exactly why I decided to cheat, other than probably due to levels 8 and 9 being a colossal pain in the ass, especially level 8. But I digress. All right, the perfect playthrough conditions is basically beat the game, and that's about it. But I decided to add some an additional requirement, and that's to try to max out your roar and health meters, which you can do by collecting certain colored bugs. And here, a red bug and a blue bug, specifically. Ah, fuck. I have to climb this up again. I believe the red bug increases your health meter, and that sticks with you for the increase in health is permanent, so you don't ever have to. While the blue bugs increase your roar meter, which actually resets when you become adult Simba at level 7. Your health meter doesn't, but you know. And the red and blue bugs are special stages. The brown and white, and I increase my roar meter. Uh, I don't remember what actually restores what, but I believe the brown bugs, depending on, as well as the brown and white bugs, depending on the size, will either restore your health or your roar meter. Though in the case of the roar meter, you could just wait over the course of the game, just wait a while, and it will come back to you. So yeah, level 1 is just really an introductory level, helping you to understand the mechanics on how to play the game as Cub Simba. And if you want to know, depending on which version of the game you're playing, on what you prefer, if you want better graphics or overall sound quality, it's generally recommended that you play the SNES version, but the Genesis version is easier.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Yeah. Good thing that all but one of the lines of dialogue occur when there's no music playing. There's only one line of dialogue that you will be missing in this playthrough for copyright reasons, but it's really just a character saying "uh-oh," and that's it. Alright, and here's the infamous level 2. Honestly, if you're not like super angsty trying to rush through this level, just and taking your time on the giraffe part, that's pretty easy to handle, but I can definitely understand having a hard time with it. Only my dad, when we rented the game, he was able to make it past the second stage. None of the rest of the family was able to. By the way, the game was a rental when we owned a Genesis. So yeah, I was one of our family was basically victim to some unscrupulous practices going on. I don't know, not just with Disney, but with other Genesis prospects. This one's much harder. And explain the practices in a bit. Now, in the sequence where you're supposed to double jump, what you actually have to do is wait till you're close to the elephant. For people like Doug Walker, who did the run of this game, it has no idea what he was doing wrong when performing the double jump. What you actually have to do is you have to make sure both Simba and the ostrich hop through make it past the obstacles. With Simba, you have to perform the double jump, of course, but if the ostrich hits the nest or the pink rhino, it's an automatic death. So your objective, by proxy, is to avoid that. Ah. I'm basic. Now, the reason why I chose the Genesis version, it's not because the sound and music quality doesn't matter because I'm muting the gameplay, except when voiceovers are in play. Just to avoid Disney's automated copyright algorithms from kicking in and me having to defend myself. Every single song in this game is from the movie. Every single one, without exception. Every bit of sound, except for the "uh-oh," incidentally enough, is from the movie. So, it's basically copyright hell that I'm dealing with. So, I'm basically trying to avoid it. Now, the reason why I chose the Genesis version, believe it or not, is also not because of nostalgia. It's because Simba jumps a little higher in the Genesis version than he does in the Super Nintendo version. Also, the platforming detection actually is much better responsive than the Super NES version. In the Super Nintendo version, if you're not super precise, Simba will phase through the ledges that he grabs onto. By the way, these bonus stages are really just to collect 1-ups as well as for the purpose of collecting 1-ups and continues. And so long as we don't fall down a bottomless pit or come in contact with an instant kill of some kind, we should be good. Alright, and an increase to our health. That wasn't an increase to our health meter? Oh, it must have be for the bonus stages. The red and blue, you know, it ultimately depends on the markers of the bug that will determine whether or not the special stages, which kind of special stage you will get. If you get the Timon bug collecting in the blue with the black stripes, and it's a different shade blue from the one that increases your roar meter. The one that increases your roar meter is actually kind of is like jar shaped or something. And the one with the red and blue beetle actually gets you the Pumbaa stages. But okay, I have a chance to increase my roar meter. What increasing your roar meter does It takes longer to refill, but the higher your ore meter, the longer the distance your as well as the overall strength of your ore will be. It resets as adult Simba, however, adult Simba's roar is very effective at taking out enemies from a distance. Whereas with Cub Simba, the roar meter really just Simba's roar, you basically have to be right next to them, and they have to be full health. And the bar basically needs to be full in order for Cub Simba's roar to come in contact with an enemy. It also can't be one of those big enemies like the vultures or the hyenas because Cub Simba's roar does not kill. Oh, I just picked up a continue. Not that. Yeah, Lion King has some weirdly funky physics. It's a bit stiff. It's not so bad with Cub Simba since he's a speedy character compared to adult Simba, who's really just a powerhouse. And that can't be good. And yeah, unlike the boost stages in Aladdin, you can't, to the best of my knowledge, there's no beating any of the Timon and Pumbaa bonus stages. They're really just mini games to help get you extra lives and continues. Interestingly enough, I actually noticed while watching Doug Walker streaming The Lion King, and I didn't realize this, but you can actually have Pumbaa perform a roar that will take out any beetles that are out of his reach. So that's something I didn't realize. Otherwise, I basically thought what you will basically be able to keep going until the RNG just screws you over. I guess that's not how it works. But yeah, the second level is actually infamous for its difficulty, and it's not even the hardest level in the game. It's just the most infamous one because that's the one where so many kids and adults will like just run into a brick wall, and you can credit all that to
Kill him.
okay to some unscrupulous practices back in the day, not just from Disney but throughout the video game industry. You see, games like Streets of Rage 2 and Aladdin were pretty much deemed too easy. So what Sega and these other second and third party developers decided to do was just increase the overall difficulty of, jack up the overall difficulty of these games. And I did not just do this just to get the bonus round beetle. It's actually a shortcut as well. We just skipped through a huge portion of the stage. I don't know. I don't believe there are any beetles that we missed going through that shortcut. Not every level has a blue jar beetle or a red beetle. But yeah, and yeah, I will say that the third and fourth stages are noticeably easier. The difficulty with the fourth stage is with memorization, not with the overall platforming or obstacles. Third level's difficulty involves taking on some really difficult enemies. And this one's really just an obstacle course through death traps, and your effectiveness going through ultimately depends on whether or not you make contact with those ledges here, as well as the RNG with the falling rocks.
If you ever come back, we'll kill ya!
And this is another round of bug toss. I don't remember how many levels there are. Bonus stages for each. I believe it's really all the bonus stages for Pumbaa are the same. But if I have to guess, there are 4 bonus stages for Pumbaa and 4 for Timon. But I could be wrong. I know I did not play through all of those bonus rounds at all.
I ate like a pig!
And I actually did not know about this level until I saw footage of it at a Hollywood video in 98 or 99. And it reminded me of Angel Island Zone at the start of Angel Island Zone in Sonic 3. So I was definitely compelled to know more about this game. This stage, however, is easily the hardest of the Cub Simba levels, and is one of 3 levels that will just kick your ass worse than I Just Can't Wait to Be King. And shit like this is not the reason why. Actually, the enemies in this stage are very, very weak. It's just platforming and the ledge grabbing is very, very finicky. But the reason why this stage is so difficult, well, because there's all these branching waterfall paths, and you must go down the right ones or suffer the consequences, I should say. And this is the reason why this level is so goddamn hard, and it's the logs. They all move at different speeds. They don't always show up consistently. And you have to keep moving, and not only do you have to keep moving, you have to move up super, super carefully. Again, this is kind of the reason why I played Genesis Lion King, and that's to make it through this waterfall section. Simba jumps a little higher, and again, the platforming physics is actually better in this game. And I got the bonus round beetle. And I've discovered a secret passage. Turned out there was really nothing there. But it's cool to get our hands on. And now we take on the boss of Cub Simba. Believe it or not, this gorilla, yes, he's not in the movie, but he was supposed to be in the movie. Remember, the game and the movie were basically made side by side. So the developers for this game basically knew exactly what was going on, and that they knew that there was supposed to be a monkey antagonist at the end of Cub Simba's story, but his scenes were ultimately cut from the film. But and it was actually cut during the storyboarding phase too. But the developers still decided to use this one. And the monkey here says, "Uh-oh," and that's the end of Cub Simba's story. And I believe this will be our last bug toss stage. And
I ate like a pig!
and so I think you have to get like 10. You have to catch 10 bugs to get Pumbaa say, "I ate like a pig." Because it's around that time where you get your continue. And here's the first stage of Adult Simba. And similar to the first level, this level's honestly meant to teach you the basics on how to play as Cub Simba. And I decided to move off screen so I could actually. There we go. As you can see, adult Simba's roar meter reset. However, to be fair, Cub Simba's roar never killed anyone. He could just. It was used to stun the porcupine enemies. You otherwise had to jump on enemies in order to take them out. So, adult Simba's roar was brought back down to the lowest level, so I have to increase it all over again. And with only 4 levels to work with, versus 6 for Cub Simba, 5 if you don't count the Stampede stage. Because it's a different gameplay style altogether. So there really aren't a lot of bugs to increase your health or aura meters from this point forward. But adult Simba's roar will kill, particularly the small enemies. By the way, I was never able to figure out. Hey, I took out 2 of those monkeys. So it's actually much. So even though my roar meter was reset, it's actually much more efficient. Has much longer range than Cub Simba's. Anyways, oh boy. I was never able to figure out how to get that continue. Not that really matters because, well, as we can see, adult Simba does not jump very high. Like, his jump is significantly lower than Cub Simba's. I suppose you could attribute that to his weight. He is much larger after all. I'm taking out this pain in the ass monkey. And I got the bug for Timon's bonus stage. So yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. I don't really remember the controls for this game because it's actually been quite a few months since I recorded the gameplay for this. I'm just recording the commentary for it now because I honestly did not feel comfortable posting and uploading like a cheated run of the game from so long ago, even if it was relatively recent. I mean, even regardless of what I don't even remember what I'm saying. I don't really remember the specifics of what I had to go through. I do believe this used save states, but I don't really remember how many. I'm pretty sure I used them for this. I definitely know that I must have used them for the 6th stage. I could tell you that much. And I don't really rely on this for this stage in particular because, well, it's honestly pretty easy. Like, it's not as easy as the first, third, or fourth levels, but I do think it's the 4th easiest stage. Just saying something. 5th easiest would be, Simba's Banishment. Simba's Exile. The one with the falling rocks. And then the 6th hardest would be the final level. Just Pride Rock. Alright. And I finally got to increase my roar meter as adult Simba again. And yeah, I've actually seen tasks and speedruns where they basically just throw, where I don't really remember what it is that they do, but I have not really found a way to consistently get the controls for this for adult Simba right.
You must take your place in the circle of life.
And that's the last bit of voiceover that we will get for this game in a long time. And then this stage, the hardest level in the game. And honestly, I think my controls during this part got stuck is what happened. That sometimes happens. You're playing for such a long time and where you play on the keyboard and suddenly it just locks in on your last input for some reason. And yeah, there are three reasons for this. The magma, which is instant kill, except when sprouting out of the geyser pits for some reason. Number two are the falling drips of magma which are even worse than the rocks, because not only is it entirely RNG based on when they land, but also they're very difficult to notice. And then you have the fucking bats. God fuck those fucking bats. And this, I believe, is the main reason why I cheated this run, because everything here will kill you. And then you have to deal with the gray cheetahs and the hyenas. I don't know what those are supposed to be. I just assume that they are cheetahs because I haven't seen the leopards there. Anyways, I went down that path because there's like a bonus round beetle down there. Fuck those bats. And no, the roar doesn't. No, to the best of my knowledge, the roar doesn't really do much to them, if anything. So yeah, the increase to the roar meter is really only good for the first stage as adult Simba or level 7. And of course, the hardest level in the game has to be based on a sequence that happens much earlier in the film and did not even include Simba to begin with. Either cub or adult Simba. This actually occurred during the musical accompaniment for Be Prepared. The funny thing is, the song actually played during the third level, which was the Elephant Graveyard. Not here. I don't remember the name of the track that plays here, but I can definitely tell that it was from the movie. And God quickly took out those leopards. And absolutely be sure to grab that checkpoint because this part is tedious as all hell. The objective is you actually want to get these geysers to shoot up like 3 or 4 times. And not only you want to get them to shoot up 3 or 4 times, you actually have to visibly watch them shoot up that amount of times. I don't remember how many times you have to do this, but this is a dead end. So all I could do is basically wait until these geysers get plugged up. Entire game. And I would probably say that level 9 is probably the third hardest level in the game. Second hardest being the Hakuna Matata stage, aka the final Cub Simba level in the game. Okay. I actually forgot that I skipped this one, so I have to ride that one, and now we're on the Bug Hunt 3. Alright, so this is a maze level. So this one can actually be either really easy or really hard. And what makes it hard is two things. Number one, it's a maze. Number two, the enemies respawn every time you go through a door and then come back. Which, if you want to collect everything in this stage, is going to happen. And number three, you can't go through the door until you kill all the enemies. And some of these like to do cheap shit like ledge guardia. And I believe I got the last last health meter. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a bonus round bug in this stage, but I was never able to find it. And I looked up a walkthrough, and there doesn't appear to be one here. So, or if there is, the walkthrough doesn't make it known. Keep in mind, I've read some walkthroughs with incomplete information. There is no information regarding all the location of all the weapons and heart containers in Floating Runner, for example. Floating Runner is a PlayStation game, by the way. So my recommendation is just follow the order. Just play along with the order of the stages as you see me play through them. And if you know where to find the bonus bug for this stage, or even if for any confirmation as to the nature and whether or not there even is one, leave a comment down below. And while you're at it, I hope you leave a like, comment, you also leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But really, just about anything would be helpful. And it is such a shame that I can't even play any of the music here. I mean, granted, the overall sound quality of this game is not that great compared to the Super Nintendo version. Hell, the Sega Genesis just couldn't compete with the Super Nintendo in terms of sound and music quality overall. But, really, it's the fact of the matter is Lion King is one of the absolute best films in the Disney Renaissance. Actually, it is the best film in the Disney Renaissance. It's one of the three best Disney animated films of all time, alongside Fantasia and Sleeping Beauty. And it's probably the best overall narrative. And there are a couple of reasons why two automatic giveaways as to why Lion King is better than every other film in the Renaissance era. There's no Alan Menken, and it's an original story. I mean, I know there's the similarities to Hamlet, but I wrote a paper on it, and really the similarities between Lion King and Hamlet are just coincidences. It's an uncle who kills the heir apparent's father to usurp the throne. That is where the similarities begin. In an apparition of the protagonist's father tells him what to do, and visits them and tells him what to do, and that's literally where the similarities end. It actually has more in common with the story of Moses than anything. And speaking of which, the people that worked on Lion King would eventually go on to make the film Prince of Egypt. And honestly, I do think that's kind of fitting. I do. So, and I also think it has the best overall music of the entire Renaissance. Even if there are some choices, less than ideal choices, that you may or may not like. Timon and Pumbaa are at least much better and actually fit the story better than the fucking gargoyles in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And at least Lion King is not a bastardization of the themes and narrative and overall narrative, the themes and ideas of the original source material. Okay, so now the only thing that makes Scar so difficult is you actually have to be able to look for clues on when to lift Scar around and toss Scar around like a rag doll, because that's literally the fastest way into getting through each phase of the final boss fight. Just split up across the entire 10th and final stage. And if you don't know what you're doing, this would probably feel almost impossible, because it could take upwards 100 hits in order to make it past the first stage if you don't throw him around, and you absolutely can't beat him during the third and final phase without, you know, without being able to toss him around. You specifically have to toss him over the ledge. And I think that's a health beetle, so no worries about that. So, and I'm supposed to toss him like one more time, but I think I missed my shot to do it. So Scar's not really giving me much help. So I'm basically forced to doing the. So after 2 throws, I'm basically forced to do this the hard way. If you try throwing him when he's not panting, he will basically get on top of you and pummel you to death, or until you knock him out. Which is why it's absolutely important to collect the health beetles to increase your health bar whenever possible. And it really doesn't matter which ledge you throw them off of, this one or the one on the other side. By the way, I can't throw him off the ledge yet. He will just, if you do it now, when he isn't at the end of his rope, like what I just did, he will just remain on the platform. So I just have to beat him up a little bit longer, and he's finished. And that's it. Again, it's a shame I can't play any of the music. I do not know which tracks have been booby trapped by the YouTube's automated system to instantly copyright strike the thing and just demonetize your video and shit like this. And keep in mind, all of these tracks are really good. Even on the Genesis, they are so pleasing and actually make me a little teary-eyed whenever I listen to it. You even get Can You Feel the Love Tonight during the end credits, and I can't play it, and it's specifically the Elton John rendition, which I always preferred. But, yeah, just bask in this cutscene, which just hangs for a bit. I think I could just exit out of this whenever I want, but I just let it play out because you get the last bit of dialogue during this and the title screen.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Man. And that's it for Westwood Studios' Lion King for Sega Genesis. I prefer the Lion King the movie to Aladdin, but as well as every other film from the Renaissance era. But I do prefer the Aladdin game on the Genesis. In fact, the bundle released on all consoles recently actually comes with both games, and most of the content, including trophy support, is specifically for Aladdin, which even received a final cut. But you actually get every version of The Lion King across all systems, so you get your choice between beating it on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. And whichever version, you have to beat them all three difficulties. But really, you can just sort of cheat your way with the select codes and use the movie playback feature or something in order to speed up, and then do some save state shenanigans in order to get those trophies on the higher difficulties. I just figured I would just show off me being this on the easiest difficulty. So, anyways, hope you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really, really appreciate it right about now. And I also hope you all have yourselves a wonderful Thanksgiving. And with all that said, I believe we're about to wrap up. This is Mike Gordon, signing out.